Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us. I'm Mary Bubala.
And I'm Maxine Stryker. Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost joins us now with what we know about Garcia's case and the response from local and federal officials.
Yeah, Maxine and Mary, there are a lot of moving parts here with this situation, but what we know right now is that Kilmar Abrego Garcia remains imprisoned in El Salvador. And we know that Senator Chris Van Hollen was there today trying to have that meeting, but legal experts tell me there's little to nothing that Senator Van Hollen can do about the current situation. And as we continue to investigate, we're uncovering more questions about this entire situation. Support continues to grow for Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Salvadorian national who was deported to his home country last month. Senator Chris Van Hollen boarded a plane Wednesday morning for the Central American country.
We are not going to stop fighting for his return until he is actually released.
The Trump administration admits deporting Abrego Garcia to El Salvador specifically was a mistake. But the story starts in 2019. Abrego Garcia, who was in the United States illegally, was arrested by Prince George's County Police in a Home Depot parking lot with 3 others. Court records show he was questioned about being affiliated with the gang MS-13, but denied any ties. He was not charged with the crime, and ICE took him into federal immigration custody. During an immigration hearing, court records indicate ICE offered a gang field interview sheet generated by PG County Police to prove MS-13 ties. That document revealed it was determined Abrego Garcia was a gang member because he was wearing a Chicago Bulls hat and hoodie, paired with the word of a confidential informant saying he was an active MS-13 gang member affiliated with an upstate New York clique. Court records show the detective who filled out the form had been suspended later. Prince George's County declined an interview request from Fox 45 News. We filed a public records request to get a copy of that gang interview sheet. Plus, new information is surfacing surrounding Abrego Garcia's past. The Department of Homeland Security posting portions of a protective order on social media, showing Abrego Garcia's wife said he punched, scratched, and bruised her in 2021. DHS saying, quote, he is not the Maryland man the media has portrayed him to be. Despite a unanimous U.S. Supreme Court order telling the Trump administration to facilitate Abrego Garcia's return,
he is an illegal alien who has been living illegally in our country.
Attorney General Pam Bondi says Abrego Garcia's deportation was always the plan.
He is not coming back to our country. There was no situation ever where he was going to stay in this country.
And the Salvadorian president says he's not helping.
I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
Garcia is an illegal alien, so he can be deported, except that he has a withholding of removal status.
John Banzaf is a law professor at George Washington Law School and says that special status could be revoked while Abrego Garcia is in Salvadorian custody.
Even if Garcia is returned to this country, he probably isn't going to live happily ever after. He would then be eligible for deportation, and back he would go to El Salvador. In other words, getting him back here may not be worth it.
Meanwhile, Senator Van Hollen continues his trip in El Salvador.
I hope to meet with some high-level government officials from El Salvador.
Before he left, we sent several questions to Senator Van Hollen's office asking who's paying for the trip. Does Senator Van Hollen believe Mr. Abrego Garcia was in the country lawfully? Does the United States have the right to deport someone in the country illegally? Is it Senator Van Hollen's goal to bring him back to the United States during this trip? Does he have the authority to do so? When asked if Senator Van Hollen can bring Abrego Garcia home,
no, he can't.
Immigration attorney Adam Crandall says the senator's visit can shine a light on the conditions in the supermax prison. But he says how the Trump administration handles court orders raises questions about future immigration proceedings.
If the executive can ignore valid court orders and send people anywhere they want, and send people to countries where, in fact, they have, their removal or deportation has been protected or withheld, then everyone involved in this should be very, very concerned.
The Trump administration continues to criticize Senator Van Hollen and maintains their position.
He should not be in this country. So whether he's in an El Salvadorian jail or a U.S. detention facility, I am so very glad, as are millions of Americans, that he is off of U.S. streets.
Abrego Garcia's family and supporters continue their push to bring him back to the United States, even with the threat of deportation again continues to loom. Now, we're still waiting for answers from Senator Van Hollen's office to the questions that we sent him yesterday. I also reached out to Abrego Garcia's attorney for a comment or an interview to respond to the latest news and the allegations in that protective order. We're still waiting to hear back. Live in the newsroom, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.